Hello viewers, my name still remains Oby Udeze, your regular host. Today, in continuation from this book written by me, Winning Through Prayers, we will be treating a powerful topic titled Types of Prayer. There are different types of prayer in the Bible which I would like to list out in this manner. Prayer of faith in the book of James 5 verse 15. This is a kind of prayer made with faith in what the Lord will do for you concerning the situation that is bothering you at the moment. Prayer of agreement, the book of Acts 2 verse 42. This prayer is also known as corporate prayer, which involves two or more people in agreement for a particular prayer request. This kind of prayer works fast, especially when prayed out in love and compassion. I remember vividly those years when I waited upon God for the fruit of the womb. Those who took it upon themselves to agree with me in prayer about it did it out of pure love and compassion, which helped to facilitate the answer. If you are believing God for anything that has delayed for so long, it is time to get a voice to agree with you in prayer over that situation. Prayer of request, Philippians 4:6. It can be called prayer of petition or supplication, petitioning for the people, or a prayer of retreat for yourself. In this kind of prayer, you need to be careful not to pray amiss for selfish reasons, as it could delay the answer or not be answered at all. Thanksgiving prayer, Psalm 95 verse 2 and 3. This is a prayer made to thank God for what He has done and will still do in your life. It is an attitude that attracts God immediately. Many people have not really understood this pattern of prayer. They believe it is only when God answers that they can thank Him. But those who are wise thank God in anticipation of their expectation. Prayer of worship, Acts 13 verse 2 and 3. Worship is an act of rendering honor, respect and devotion to God. It is a prayer of adoration and reverence to God for who He is and what He represents in your life. In this kind of prayer, it is done according to our devotion with submission to God in reverence. Prayer of consecration, Numbers 8:33. This kind of prayer is done by a priest or a man of God, or by those who want to go to the next level of their spiritual lives. One can decide to lock himself in an upper room and be alone with God for a number of days without talking to any human except God for his spiritual growth. One can also decide not to eat any cooked food for days, weeks or months as an act of consecration. There are different ways in which one can take the prayer of consecration. The most important thing is that there is something extraordinary you chose to do for such separation. Prayer of protection, Psalm 91 verse 1. You know, this type of prayer is a must for all believers. As a matter of fact, those who are not believers also pray this type of prayer. We need God's protection in every areas of our lives: family, business, academics, jobs, friends, etc., etc. We should always seek God's protection in this wicked world. A lot of people are into occult practice in search of protection where there is none. The most powerful and effective protection we need can only come from God in the place of prayer. It is a pity that many neglect the protection of God and look elsewhere to seek it, thereby entangling themselves in everlasting bondage that will eventually affect their posterity in many generations. Why seek help where there is no help? It is high time we know that the prayer of protection belongs only to God alone and no other place. Prayer of transformation, Isaiah 9:2. The gain of living is transformation. If you are living and not transforming, then you are not existing. It is a prayer we should pray for our lives. We need to change from what we used to be to the actual life God originally wants us to live. Devil is a master in making sense remain in a place without changing, which is very precarious. Just like a child born today, every day of his life he keeps changing until he becomes a full-grown man. He cannot remain a baby at 10, 15, or 30 years. In between those years are changes that are necessary for his transformation. Also, you cannot give your second life to God and remain the way you initially came to him. I am a typical example of this particular transformation. Writing is one of my transformations since I met the God who is a master in changing life from nothing to extraordinary. Do not trifle with the process of your change. You can change through prayer and your entire faith in God. Prayer of restoration, Psalm 51 verse 12. The prayer of restoration can also be called healing prayer, which involves asking for repair and to return to the previous or a better state. The psalmist in his prayer asked God to restore unto him the joy of his salvation. Many believers are living without the joy of knowing God. It is a must prayer all the days of our Zoe life. God is not man. According to his word in the book of 1 Peter 5:10, he said that he will restore. We need physical, spiritual, emotional, and material restoration. Restoration is synonymous to recovering. It is the recovering of the lives of the redeemed for the good purposes on earth, so we can bear fruit in every good work and increase in the knowledge of God. We have come to the end of today's episode from this book of mine, Winning Through Prayers. I will see you same time next week. I love you plenty from my heart. Bye.